Saiyan Day is fast approaching, but who could the new units be? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are about 2 weeks away from the annual campaign for the Saiyan Day celebration on March 18th. And it really does seem like both Global and JP Dokkan are sending some major hints to what the unit could be. The only problem is they're sending mixed signals. So in today's video, we're going to talk about what those signals are and who I think are the likely candidates for this year's Saiyan Day celebration. So let's go ahead, let's jump in. Let's start with the obvious. We have this bingo rewards announcement for the Dokkan Now airing in mid-March, basically confirming the Saiyan Day Dokkan Now which will happen probably around the 17th or 16th, just before the release of the Saiyan Day units. Now, it's interesting that they chose, Global did, to go with a bingo reward system for the announcement, because really when you think Dragon Ball and you think bingo, there's really only one area where this shows up, and that is in the Battle of Gods movie, right? During the Battle of Gods movie, there is a brief moment where Vegeta is trying to kind of buy time and kind of calm Beerus down. They are playing bingo, they're trying to feed him, right? So it's odd that they chose this as their hint, unless it's a hint towards the Battle of Gods movie for their celebration. Now, a lot of people are taking this to mean that it is a Battle of Gods movie, God Goku, especially when you combine that with the fact that on Global, we got a global first EZA for the Int God Goku, and they have already mentioned that there are plans to EZA the STR, Beerus, and Whis. So it would seem that things are lining up for the Battle of Gods movie to be celebrated during this campaign. And I guess it makes sense, right? Especially when you consider most of the God Gokus we have from Battle of Gods are actually from the Dragon Ball Super arc, not the movie. So it's very likely that should whatever this new TUR is, if it is a God Goku, should be on Movie Heroes. So it'll be very, very helpful. It'll add basically one more category to all of these categories here that they have, which will be kind of nice. Movie Heroes opens up just a few more teams to him. Not many, but a few. So it would be a nice addition. The only thing is, Saiyan Day usually introduces Global Dokkan to whatever the anniversary mechanic is that was just celebrated on the JP side of things. Now, JP just got the introduction to a new mechanic called Standby Skill, and in previous years, Saiyan Day has introduced us to that mechanic. Last year introduced us to the 200% leader skill with Majin Vegeta. In years past, it introduced us to things like the transformation with the UI Goku and his awakening. So it's very likely that whatever this new unit is going to have that standby skill. Basically, it works like after a certain amount of turns or an HP threshold, you can activate it and your character becomes invulnerable for a set amount of turns, eventually unleashing a very, very powerful attack. So far, we've got 3 units that utilize it. We have the free-to-play Majin Vegeta, who can basically take damage and then launch a major attack, depending on how much key spheres you've obtained. We have the STR, GT, Goku, and Vegeta, who actually don't tank attacks. They actually become significantly weaker, but then they revive and launch a very powerful attack. And then we have the Z Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Goku that launch the Super Spirit Bomb from the end of Z. So there isn't much, I feel like, that a God Goku could do with that mechanic. I mean, about the only thing I could think of is if he started as like a base Goku or something, or a Super Saiyan Goku, and then the standby is the ritual, and then they do the ritual, and then he launches into God Goku from there. Hard to say how they would handle it, but I don't think given that that is likely scenario, I don't think God Goku is our unit. In fact, I think the unit is someone entirely different. I think it could be the Vegeta, being the fact that they did use the bingo card as the hint. It could be the Vegeta from the movie. After all, he's the only other Saiyan in the movie, so if it's not Goku, then it's gotta be Vegeta. Now, as far as Vegeta goes, what they could use, I think the next likely candidate for a unit for Saiyan Day, if it is Battle of Gods, is the Rage Vegeta. Now, we currently do already have this moment represented in Dokkan, but it's an older card. He was good upon release, but it's also a Vegeta and Bulma. So it's very likely we could get a redo of this card, but without the Bulma. It could just be a Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, or it could be a base form Vegeta. It could just be base form Vegeta, and then his standby skill is into Super Saiyan 2 / Rage, and he would basically, in that form, have all of this, right? He would have his extra attack and defense, and then he would have his ability to counter, which is in the base for this, but I feel like putting it into the standby skill would actually work much better. It would rework the rage mechanic, which is all but useless, into the standby skill. Now, the neat thing about doing this, and I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'm wondering if they would ever really try to play with this, is if the rage portion ends up being the standby skill, they could do something really interesting to make counters good again, which is you have an invulnerable unit, even if it's for just a couple of turns that you would use the mechanic for, but then you can counter. Think about that for a second. That would actually be really, really powerful. I think it could be fun. There could be a lot of play with it, right? So I think this is a likely candidate, and I would like to see them implement the standby skill in this way. You basically have an invulnerable character who can take attacks and counter back for a couple of turns. I think that could really help get through a lot of difficult content, especially if they're going to continue with sort of the red zone level difficulty that we're at. I really like this idea. I would love to see it play out, and it's about the only other standby skill that I think could work into something from Battle of Gods. But I still don't think that that's the only likely outcome for Saiyan Day. And that is because JP Dokkan is actually sending a whole bunch of different mixed signals, right? So Global Dokkan does seem to be hinting at Battle of Gods, but JP Dokkan, they are currently in the middle of a GT celebration for the SDR Super 17 and the Zero and Mew. This is really interesting because this is from Dragon Ball GT. However, all of the returning story events and the free-to-play EZAs and the Dokkan Fest EZA are all from Tournament of Power, right? For the free-to-play EZAs, they're getting the EZA for the Casserole and the Goten, Trunks, and Marin. They have all of these returning story events from Tournament of Power, along with the returning EZAs from those sagas, and then the main Dokkan Fest EZA is MVP 17 from the Tournament of Power. So it seems really, really, really odd that a GT celebration would have such a heavy focus on Universal Survival Saga / Tournament of Power, unless the next big unit needs help. And I say that because I think the likely candidate is still a God Goku, but a God Goku from the Tournament of Power, right? In Dokkan, we currently have only one God Goku with decent animations from the Tournament of Power, and that is the TUR for the STR UI Goku. And I did want to take a moment to show you guys this animation real quick, so I'm going to hit play here. This is actually a really interesting animation because it's only present in the character's TUR, right? It's God Goku doing his little finger gun, which I do actually really love this animation. But it basically goes unused once you awaken your UI Goku. So then that brings the question, could they reuse this animation and give us a new God Goku? I think they can, and I certainly think they should. After all, it is a pretty cool moment from Universal Survival Saga. So I think we could actually see this guy as the God Goku, because I think we've already got enough Blue Gokus and Blue Vegetas from the Tournament of Power. We already had Ultra Instinct as a Saiyan Day unit. We have Evolution Blue Vegeta already as a TUR. Not to say we couldn't get a new one, but they both also just got new LRs during the 6th anniversary, which I admit is 2 years ago now, but I mean the animations are still pretty stellar. So they have admitted to wanting to reuse animations, and we saw that with the Super 17 and with the Z Goku and Vegeta from the 8th anniversary. So it's not unheard of that they could rework this animation into a TUR. And in fact, I think it's likely to be him, not only because of the reworking of the animation and everything present in this celebration on JP, but also because he has a very good setup for a standby skill. And there's two directions they could take it, right? One is because this is the moment right before him and Hit join forces, it could actually be a standby skill into Hit, right? So basically you stand by, Hit exchanges in, and he's basically untouchable for a few turns. How they'll deal damage, I don't know. They could just do a build up of damage, where over time Hit just absorbs the attacks and then eventually they launch a huge counterattack. Or it could be like the STR Goku and Vegeta from GT, where Hit might be a little on the weaker side, but then he can still attack and provide a massive buff to the rest of the team while doing so. And then maybe there's a revive or something after, who knows. Or the other option is it is a standby skill into Ultra Instinct, where you basically become invulnerable due to dodging for a set amount of turns, eventually unleashing a powerful super attack, like the free-to-play Majin Vegeta. So it works the same fundamentally, right? It's just instead of absorbing the damage, you're just straight up dodging it. I think that would actually be a very good scenario and a nice way to introduce it into Global Dokkan, especially because, right, Tournament of Power really needs the help. It's in 8th anniversary, they got the Easy A for the STR Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, and he needs Universal Survival Saga allies, and so this seems to be the likely scenario, because otherwise it may be a while before Kaioken Goku is even usable. So I would say they would have to go this, otherwise that card is going to be dead in the water for a bit. So I would actually like to see this. I think this is one of the few moments in Dokkan that isn't represented well, if only because all we've gotten is the Hit and God Goku, and then this TUR or SSR animation from the UI Goku. So I would definitely like to see this. This would be my #1 pick over Battle of Gods, surprisingly. I know that may surprise a lot of people, but it's definitely my #1 pick. Is this a redo of this God Goku and his animation? As far as what he would do or what he would be, maybe I'll save that for another video as we approach closer. Let me know in the comments if you would love to hear my kit predictions for a new God Goku from the Tournament of Power. Kind of want to see where you guys are at on that. So anyways, guys, that is the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know. What are your predictions for this year's Saiyan Day campaign? Do you think it's Battle of Gods, or are you leaning into the Tournament of Power now? Or do you have some other completely wild prediction? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And again, also let me know, would you guys like to see my idea for a rework of the Super Saiyan God Goku from this fight, assuming he isn't the Saiyan Day unit? So, anyways guys, if nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.